The Fantasy Edge with Richard Savill and Dennis Sosic.
Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Edge. I am Richard Savill, FantasySixPack.net, and joining me shortly, Dennis Sosic, also of FantasySixPack.net, back this week after Davis Peng filled in last week, and Davis will be here with Peng's picks in the middle of the show. So, Dennis, you're back and ready to get back into fantasy football?
Sure. Yeah, I'm back. Thanks, Davis, for filling in for me. Unfortunately, I came back at a crazy week with all these freaking injuries. Holy crap. What happened, this Sunday? There's a lot of injuries this week.
Oh, yeah. We've got lots to talk about in the news this week. So it's going to cut into our waiver picks this week. As we speak, actually, the game hasn't started yet, but the Bears are playing the New England Patriots in New England. So don't expect much of a game there. It's just
no.
I mean, it's just the style of these teams. They're just not the kind of teams you kind of expect much. But anyways, we haven't got time to be talking a lot about that. We got to get straight right into the news here, and it starts. Injury. Breece Hall suffered a torn ACL and suddenly will miss the rest of the 2022 season. We all know about Michael Carter. What about Ty Johnson? Are we interested?
No, I don't think so. I was actually thinking, maybe the Jets are 5-2 now, surprisingly, and maybe they reach out to a team to get another back to go with Carter, for this year, like Madison or maybe a Kareem Hunt, somebody like that. For a 1-year rental, and they're playing well. The defense is playing okay. Zach Wilson's there. But, maybe they reach out to someone instead of, trusting their life with Ty Johnson. Carter is fine. He should do well.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's quite good. He'll be just fine.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, I have in one of my dynasty leagues. I was kind of upset when they drafted Hall because I knew that meant plunk to Carter's value and stuff. But now he's unfortunately with Hall's injury, which is a shame because he was playing so well. Those rookie running backs coming out this year. They've been playing like madmen out there. So it's hard to deal with that injury. But unfortunately, it's part of the game, and hopefully Carter can step up and play well in his absence.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody else, Dennis, out there on the free agents or on practice squad somewhere out there. I mean, a couple of teams like Latavius Murray was a gold pickup by the Denver Broncos, and the Saints didn't hang on. The Saints should have hung on to him, but they didn't.
Right, I mean, surprised by that.
Yeah, me too. But anyways, he ends up. So he goes there, and that's another something that we got to talk about too is
injury.
Yeah. Mike Boone is out, so next man to come join the fray is Marlon Mack.
Right. Keep all these retreads they keep picking up. Murray, he looked okay. He fell into the end zone, which is good for, obviously, fantasy-wise, but I worry about that offense. That offense looks like crap. They're not doing that well, and Wilson's hurt, so I'm not sure when he's coming back. Rippon looked like the reason why he's a backup, and so I worry about that offense. I wouldn't really worry about picking up anyone from Denver at all, running back-wise.
Well, it's only a hamstring for Russell Wilson. He's hoping to play in London, so...
Yeah. We can go watch it.
There's 2 games up next. There's 2 games that are abroad this week. Is it? Are they playing in Munich this week and London?
I'm not sure when that is. Yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll have to check the schedule, but I do know London is this week, and the Broncos are playing there. So we'll have to wait and see if Russell Wilson is okay. Hamstrings are funny things. I don't know. I think they're more problematic for the wide receivers and running backs than they are for quarterback. I don't know. I really don't know.
Right.
But
yeah.
But he's hoping to play. Speaking of quarterbacks, Frank Reich announced that they're moving on from Matt Ryan and going to go with Sam Ehlinger.
Right. Hey, real quick, I hate to break the news here, but there's breaking news that just came through.
Oh, what's that?
A big trade. The Jets just acquired James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars to help replace Breece Hall.
Okay.
Just came through. I just got the notice from Sleeper just now.
Wow.
Holy crap. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, I was kind of right in a way.
Well, yeah, you're right. You are right. So he could potentially split the carries there.
Right. Agreed. Interesting pickup.
Carter people aren't going to like that.
No, not at all. I mean, I think it's another timeshare in that offense, which you try to avoid. But nowadays, it's hard to find a bell cow back, fantasy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, Robinson, they said he was dealing with some kind of injury, and that's why he didn't play that much. He didn't produce anything on Sunday, so maybe he's not healthy, and that's why his numbers are looking like.
Yeah, they would have. They usually, before any team picks up another, they get they get the report, right, of any injuries and things like that, because it's only fair, right? But we should linger on this topic for just a bit now. That makes it really interesting about this Breece Hall thing. Well, just when you thought Michael Carter had it free and easy, he probably does still. But I think James Robinson just sort of mixes in. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a while to get accustomed. Plus, like I said, he might be a little bit hurt, so that could be a couple of weeks that he's going to kind of have the bell cow, I should say, usage, and Robinson will chip in here and there, maybe a 60-40 split for Carter, maybe something like that. But still makes both of them, at least Carter definitely usable in fantasy, and Robinson maybe usable again, because Travis Etienne was just, he's murdering it out there. So Robinson was being a non-producer at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, the big news, of course, last week, Christian McCaffrey going to the 49ers. That was
crazy.
That was absolutely nuts. I mean, we actually saw, Christian McCaffrey, and he got a lot of work for not seeing any practice with the 49ers. So they obviously trust what's going on there. So, I mean, I don't know. That's something we can talk a little bit more about later, is the Christian McCaffrey situation. But we'll move on with the rest of the news first. I was about to say before you come in with that breaking news about James Robinson, Sam Ehlinger, Frank Reich, they're moving on from Matt Ryan, not surprisingly. Matt Ryan's been terrible.
Yeah, he's been terrible. Can't throw the ball anymore.
No.
There's no zip on the ball.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm not surprised they didn't go to Nick Foles instead of Ehlinger, but Foles has always been a career backup, and maybe that's like his the safety net. If Ehlinger fails, he has always Foles to go back to. But Ehlinger wasn't that impressive preseason, so I'm not sure what.
I still want to see what the kid's got. Me, I always like to see what the kid's got.
Right, that's true. It's good to see. I mean, but. Yeah, I wonder how it's going to affect the receivers, because Michael Pittman and Pierce Campbell, who exploded on Sunday. I mean, all those guys are going to be they're going to have to take a downturn a little bit in fantasy because of that. But something we could talk about as we get into more the waivers and stuff too. But makes you wonder how that's going to help, how it's going to hurt them.
Yeah, indeed. I've always liked to see the quarterbacks being thrust in, like a guy like Ehlinger, just to see if he's, you can sort of tell if there's deer in the headlights, look at him. But if he handles it, I mean, like, okay, he might not play well, but it's how he handles the pressure. Like, I mean, he might throw interceptions and that, and you get that with, every young quarterback, right?
Of course, yeah.
So, I want to see, but it's actually how he holds up under pressure. He could be good. I don't know. Let's see what the kid's got. That's all I say. I mean, I'm not going to make any judgment. Let's see what the kid's got before I pass any judgment. So, I mean, like you say, wasn't spectacular in preseason, but preseason, you can look at that two ways.
Yeah, very true.
PJ Walker, continuing on with the starting, PJ Walker's going to start regardless of the status of Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. They're gonna go with it. I mean, why not? Beat the Buccaneers.
Well, to lose.
Yeah, beat the Buccaneers. Can you believe I was, I think everyone was surprised that the Panthers beat the Buccaneers. What do you think of that game? I mean, like, what is wrong with the Buccaneers? Like, what happened? Why did they lose that game?
Yeah, I think their offensive line is not playing well. Brady's definitely not playing well. And it's just out of sync. I think Brady has his mind elsewhere. You probably is thinking now he should have retired. You saw the pass that Evans dropped in the beginning of the game, that bomb wide open in the middle of the field.
Beautiful pass.
Beautiful, perfect. Ran his hands and he freaking bobbled it and dropped it. It was the beginning of the end for them. So offense is not looking good at all. I mean, Godwin's catching some passes, but he looks kind of like a shell of his former self. I don't think he's fully healthy yet. And Fournette's playing like crap. But a lot of that's the offensive line too. I mean, they're not playing good and had some injuries at the beginning of the year. And all that's culminating into this lackluster offense that the Panthers defense just, overwhelmed them and took over the game. And Walker played very well. I mean, he made DJ Moore, fantasy, I don't say superstar, but made him fantasy viable again with the touchdown.
Woke him up a little, I would say.
Right. So that helps out. Yeah. So, I mean, he should be playing out there as long as he's doing well. And obviously Baker and Darnold. Well, Darnold sucks, but Baker wasn't playing well. So, I mean, it's like you said, it's not going to hurt them to have Walker stay out.
No, why not leave him? I think when it comes to quarterbacking on the Panthers, you're just going with least worst.
Right. Scary but true, yeah. I mean, it's going to probably be overhauled. I mean, we talked about the trade with McCaffrey. Could be other trades as well. I mean, even DJ Moore may get traded. If an offer comes, hopefully he goes to somewhere like the Packers where they could use a set receiver. Brian Burns, the defensive guy, might be traded. He's a stud.
Well,
who knows?
Came out in the news that they consider DJ Moore a core foundation player. They're not going to trade him.
Yeah, if you get enough draft capital, maybe you.
Then they might.
They
might change their tune. They might change their tune. I did.
Right.
I did in a league. I caved into a trade, which I kind of had to do. I had no choice, really. Well, I guess I kind of
had no choice.
I had no choice. Things are going south anyway. Might as well. One of those things. All right. Anyways, I guess we have to get back into this
injury.
Yeah, it's David Njoku, who's hasn't been too great lately, but he's definitely a playable, a startable tight end. I guess you would call him a high tight end too. And but he's going to miss 2 to 5 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Now there's another guy who might clean up Harrison Bryant. Am I right?
Right, Harrison Bryant. Yep.
He's the next guy. So are we interested?
Maybe as bye week fill-in, maybe, or take a dart throw at him, but that offense is not playing well. I mean, Brissett's, he keeps showing why he's been a pure backup. He doesn't take advantage of opportunities when he should. And I watched that game yesterday, unfortunately, and there's a lot of plays that could have been made. I mean, Cooper's okay. He's only really viable. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones is actually stepping up more than Cooper lately. Cooper's getting a lot of attention. But only person I really trust in that offense right now is Chubb. Everybody else, I'm probably steering away from.
Chubb is great. Chubb's having a great season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's dominant. And if the rumors are true that they trade Kareem Hunt, which I would not be surprised. And I think they should, because he doesn't want to be here. He has to be traded in training camp, and now season's going in a downward spiral. You're 2-5. Even with Watson coming back eventually, he's not going to stay this season. So he's on the last year of his contract. It's time to get rid of him. Get something for him and move on.
Well, yeah,
as much as I like Kareem Hunt,
they could get something decent from him. I mean, he's RB1 worthy on a number of teams that
Right, agreed. Yeah, I mean, his fantasy value to skyrocket depending on where he goes. I mean, if he goes somewhere like the Rams or something like that, we can see him, his value skyrocketing. But I mean, you see the Rams, they actually try to trade for McCaffrey as well. They actually offered Akers and a bunch of draft picks for McCaffrey, and Panthers turned it down. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, no one wants Cam Akers junk.
That's true. They don't want that headache, but even still.
That's the thing, is that we don't really know why he's in the doghouse or was in the doghouse, or is I speculated about the Dorial Green-Beckham syndrome.
Right.
So I think that might be that. I think that's a possibility, but who knows? I mean, it's all behind closed doors. We don't know.
Right. Very true.
But we gotta keep on moving here. The show
injury.
Let's go on.
Yeah. Injury, we got. We're looking at DK Metcalf. It didn't look good during that game. He was carted off, but he was smiling and everything, so that looked okay. And it turns out, indeed, that he's avoided a long-term injury. However, he probably is going to miss time. How long that's going to be, we don't really know. Kind of affects the offense, and believe it or not, the Seahawks are in first place in the NFC West. Where did that come from?
Exactly. Geno Smith. And
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker looks like a freaking god out there. Holy crap.
Yep.
That guy,
Making
everyone thought about, how good he was going to be and, coming as rookie, but then, he was hurt. And then he just came out and like, holy crap, he looks like, RB1 for sure. And, one of the top backs in the league already. We just put up some numbers that are ridiculous. But, and they're going to ride him and Geno. Metcalf, obviously, injury hurts the team, but, hopefully he comes back in a couple of weeks. Who knows how long it's going to be.
Yeah.
We never know with people because he always tells, he's the same person who said that Carson was going to play this year and Carson decided to retire, So,
Yep.
I don't know if I trust anything Pete Carroll says, but, we'll have to wait and see. But Marquise Goodwin actually stepped up and, scored a couple touchdowns in it. So
I think he's on the waiver ranking list. So
yeah, he should be.
So we'll be talking about him.
Right.
So he might be worthwhile pickup because just to remind people, and I've got it right here that the buys this week are the Chiefs and the Chargers. No Chiefs and Chargers this week, just to remind you. So not a big week for that, but Kenneth Walker looking like the man out there. They got their guy. And did you see I saw big huge smiles out of the coach, Pete Carroll. He was just grinning ear to ear. He just loved that game. And the Seahawks they played a hell of a game. And man, they're playing good football. They really are.
Shockingly enough, yeah. Scary. They traded, Russell away, thought they were going to, everyone thought it was going to really suck with Geno there, but Geno's playing well. And, Russell's looking like, he's aged a lot in the last couple of years, but and their defense, they still cede a lot of yards and scores, but that offense keeping up with a lot of other offenses, so they're making it happen. So that's all you can ask for.
Indeed. Okay, time to. I guess we should move along. Right. The situation was with Kansas City, and it came out late, and this was actually very close to game time. Actually, it was announced that Isaiah Pacheco would be starting for the Chiefs. And it turned out, yes, he did start, but he didn't really, he wasn't dominating the snaps. I got the snap counts here. He got 30% of the snaps. Clyde Edwards-Helaire got 27% of the snaps. And Jerick McKinnon actually got the most snaps, 44%. But I'm going to take a look at the stats for Pacheco. I don't think it was that outstanding, especially in a game like, we kind of expected a big game from, especially in this kind of, first we'll talk about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He finished at, I better put it half PPR. He finished RB 27, 6 carries, 32 yards. He was targeted by Mahomes. And to take a look at Pacheco, and it's kind of hard whether to know whether to put him up or not. I don't know. But Isaiah Pacheco, just getting him up. He 8 carries, 43 scoreless yards. Yeah, that's that isn't doing it.
No, that was a big. Like I said, that was a huge news coming into kickoff. Everyone's like scrambling to see that Pacheco is going to be the starter. In that game against the 49ers. So everyone's looking to see if he's available in their leagues and trying to pick him up and a big scramble. But, I know, and, most fantasy fans should know that, that's always going to be a timeshare there. CH isn't going away. And Jerick McKinnon, has stepped up and he made a huge play, huge run at the end of toward the end of the game that, almost scored a touchdown. That made it was one of the turning points of the game. Against the 49ers. So, but that's a three-headed monster in the backfield. And Mahomes is playing out of his mind. He's phenomenal. He keeps getting better. And they have that offense. And my boy Juju did well, too. Don't forget about Juju now.
Yeah, Juju had a good game. I'll give you that one.
I had to rub that in.
Yeah. You haven't been able to rub it in very much this year.
I know.
They've been spread around, but I will say this. I think Sky Moore is now droppable. This was his big chance to do something, and I just don't think he's... everyone sort of kind of expected him to work his way into the offense at some point, and I think we're kind of beyond the point where he should have been starting to become a part of the offense, don't you think?
Right. He should have been contributing something, and I haven't been looked at as anything. But they have a lot of weapons there, and unfortunately, Moore is right now. He's not one of them that could do anything for that offense. And I agree with you. He's droppable right now.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, I'm dropping him. I put him in there as kind of a hit and hope, like because I thought maybe Pacheco's a misdirection thing, and like you see that, and we weren't even thinking about Sky Moore, but no, none of those tricks either. So
no, definitely not.
Well, you know how you get those tricks that you sort of, when you've been around fantasy a while, you get these sort of things. Anyway, moving right along, I've got this sheet up all right. Oh, Tony Pollard, this is just another, since we were talking about snap counts, I put this in because it was in the news. He plays 65% of the snaps. Ezekiel Elliott, 49. Well, the reason Tony Pollard went over 100 yards, but Ezekiel Elliott got the money because he scored the touchdowns, right? So
right, yeah. But if he doesn't score those touchdowns, he's useless in fantasy right now. I mean, Pollard should be getting the ball more, and it's bound to happen. I mean, I know Zeke did it. Something happened with the bruise or knee bruise or something that he got, but he still played through it, and I said he scored 2 touchdowns. But if he doesn't fall in the end zone twice, his numbers are horrible. That it'd be hard to start him. But I mean, you have to start him based on the fact that offense is going to give him the ball at the goal line, and he's going to probably produce a little bit for you there. But Power looks like he's someone that should be taking over that offense quickly. But I think slowly, but by the end of the year, he probably will be. But right now, Zeke's still going to churn some yards and do a lot of 1-yard plunges.
We would have heard by now if either one of them was on the trading block. I would suspect that Ezekiel Elliott would be on the trading block if they were even, but I don't hear any news like that. That's nothing. There's no rumors of that going on around. But we got to talk about Mike Williams. The ankle sprain, now, according to what he says, it sounds like from his own words, it sounds like he's going to be out for some time. Guess we'll find out Wednesday his injury status, as we do always on Wednesday when the when the initial injury reports come out. So for the week, but Mike Williams. Now this is something we can talk about in the when we get to the waivers for wide receivers, but Mike Williams being out, well, he's had kind of an up and down season. I'm not really, he's really boom and bust this year.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I figured he was going to blow up this year, but he's not. Especially, with Keenan Allen being hurt. I figured he would explode, but he is. I agree. He's very up and down. Now he's going to be gone for how long? And this week they're on bye, so you knew he was going to be out this week anyways, obviously. So hopefully, how many weeks after that is, it's debatable how long he's going to be out. Maybe 2, 4, 5 weeks, whatever. But maybe we could talk about who's going to take a spot. When we do the waivers, but I mean that offense. I mean a lot of it's all depending on Eckler getting the ball. I mean, he's catching the ball like a madman. I mean, he had 12 catches yesterday, and he's on pace for some kind of ridiculous amount. And he's still a stud. I mean, he's playing great. They're just dumping the ball to him whenever he can find anybody to throw to. So, but it's going to be kind of different offenses. Hopefully, they can change some things up, and Allen gets healthier. It's good to see Allen on the field again, but hopefully he's healthier coming out of the bye. Yeah.
Just want to see what Allen got this week.
It wasn't much. It was like 2 catches.
He didn't get. He was targeted in the end zone. I know that for sure. He was targeted once, but Herbert targeted once for the end zone. But apart from that, Keenan Allen. I've got his stats right here. 2 catches, 2 targets, 11 yards. WR 76. Actually, WR 72.5 PPR, which is what I should have switched it to, and I did. So brings us, but not by much. It could be when you see numbers like that. It could be like he wasn't quite ready to come back, and this is the decoy thing.
Right. Agreed.
This could be.
I figured. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. But just carry from that, Dennis, the decoy thing. You think?
Yeah, it could be. I'm surprised they even played him out there because I thought he would not play until after the bye week, this coming week, and then get him full go after the bye. But I guess he just wanted to get out there and run some patterns. I was hoping he would contribute something, but like you said, he didn't do anything. So it was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, so you got to kind of watch for that is when you get these guys who, who are coming back from injury. And maybe if they're coming back a bit early, you're thinking, oh joy, he's playing. They figure he's good enough. Well, sometimes it doesn't quite work out like that. It doesn't. No. So, anyway, and so it goes. Okay, let's get into our waivers now. Let's start off with as we usually do. Let's get the quarterbacks out of the way. This mess out of the way. I guess we can, not on the list, and I checked the Fantasy Pros Waiver Rankings twice to make sure there wasn't, because there was only 7 guys ranking this time. So, none of them mentioned Ehlinger. I think if you're in a 2 QB league, you can take a chance on him. But you know who I see on this list finally is Deshaun Watson.
No. Yeah.
Well, come on, no, he's a good quarterback, and he might help. He might help Peoples Jones and Amari Cooper to might inject some rocket fuel into those numbers, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he hasn't played over a year.
So there is that.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going to be rusty, and they're going to be out of the playoff chase already. So what's the point of playing him now? But yeah, I mean, he could make some fantasy headway for teams to pick up. A lot of at least bigger leagues probably already have Watson on their roster, stashed on their roster. But smaller leagues, I'm thinking he's available. I still don't want part of that offense, but I mean, and I'm a Browns fan, so that probably says a lot right there. I think they're going to start trading away assets, like I mentioned, Kareem Hunt and who knows who else, and just keep riding Chubb. So, but we'll see. I mean, I could see people are going to look after him because he was a great fantasy quarterback. He was before all the crap happened with him, but he did play very well at quarterbacks in fantasy. But I'm not sure if he can produce like that after not playing for that long period of time. All
right, I noticed another name that's not on here, and I know I don't like to do that, but I should. I think Malik Willis deserves to be mentioned here. He's I don't think they're kind of lucky they have Ryan Tannehill, but Malik Willis, not seeing.
He's number 9, I think.
Yeah. Is he on here? Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
he is. You're right. He is on here, number 9. All right. Okay. So my mistake. I overlooked that. QB9. Don't like him.
After all that, don't like him.
No, I don't like him. No, I don't like him. I don't think he's any good. I still like Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, he's. I mean, like I said, he has a talent around him, but he's going through some growing pains there. He has some ability, but he already has 7 interceptions, 4 games. He had some definite game management issues yesterday. The last interception he threw, I'm not sure where he didn't run. Did you watch the game yesterday? The end of the game? That Dolphins game.
I did.
Yeah, so the last interception he threw, and that guy made a great catch.
Yeah,
he had like 20 yards to run, and he decided to throw it when I don't know what he was throwing it to.
Thing is, time was. He was up against time, so running in the middle of the field with. I mean, what did they have? Like they didn't have a whole lot of time,
Yeah,
so.
But still, decision making still needs some work. But
yeah, I suppose that'll come.
Yeah.
But Pittsburgh has its problems. I don't think they were really in contention for that game. I think it was overall, I would say the Dolphins controlled that game. Sure, they slowed down the Dolphins after the first 2 drives, but it still kind of felt like the Dolphins had this game, I wouldn't say in the bag, but they were, it seemed less of a chance of them losing to the Pittsburgh on a late drive to score. I mean, honestly, when Pickett was in that final drive, I thought, they're not going to do it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think Tua looked pretty rusty out there. I mean, he's missing some passes out there, and he's lucky he didn't get more. I think the Steelers defensive back dropped at least 4 interceptions that I remember.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, he was pretty rusty, and they have the weapons in their offense that they should. They should do. I mean, Tyreek Hill is playing great. I mean, he's some of the like we probably talked I remember we talked in the preseason. I kind of shied away from him, and you were telling me not to do that. And you're right on that call. I didn't think he would do that well based on Tua and that offense, but they're feeding the ball even more now than they did in Kansas City. So I give you kudos for that one because I didn't think that was going to happen in Miami. But
you say he was rusty, but he came out firing in the first two drives of the Dolphins until the Steelers made adjustments and slowed him down a bit. He seems to play better because when the Dolphins came out, they were playing kind of no huddle, sort of half no huddle. They were playing pacey football, and they should have kept doing that. They should have kept playing the pace game because Mostert was playing really well, and
he was. He fits perfect in that offense. I mean, obviously that's from the old, Mike McDaniels from the 49ers, so that's same offense, and Mostert loves that. I mean, he thrives in that offense. He's like running through people, running through tackles, scoring that touchdown. They just kind of got away from some of the play. I mean, some of the play calling was a little unusual, I think. But like you said, the Steelers changed their game plan defensively, and I don't think Miami changed theirs offensively to reflect that. So I think it was kind of fed into their hands. Something you don't do.
They did, They should have kept that high pace. The
Steelers weren't going to keep up with that.
So they were, and that quick pace that they came out with. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't keep it up, but I don't know. They still look good. They still looked like they were in control for that game. But anyway. Is there anybody else on this list? There's the usual names we see here every week, Dennis. The only other name that's different is QB10 here, Desmond Ridder. I don't think Marcus Mariota is any danger of losing starting job at this time, but I don't know. Desmond Ritter's name has come up there, so what do you think? I mean, should it? I mean, Marcus Mariota himself is on this list as QB5, but I don't know. Maybe a change of QB. Well, do you think it might happen in Atlanta? Or
no, I think it's a change in offensive play calling is going to change that team. They were, I don't know if you saw, but they were down most of that game, and they kept ball continuously for some stupid reason, and there's no way they're going to catch up. They were down. I think last I looked, they were down like 18 points, I believe.
Yeah.
And they ran like 6 or 7 consecutive running plays. I'm like, what is he doing? I mean, he has weapons. Drake London was, shy in the beginning. They still got Kyle Pitts out there. They don't know they have Kyle Pitts. It seems like out there, but
he was. To be fair, Kyle Pitts did get a lot more targeting this game than we've seen in other weeks.
It wasn't much though, but
wasn't much.
They should have ran the ball. Yeah, I mean Mariota's. I mean, he's not killing the team, but he's not helping the team. And maybe it's toward the end of the year, you're going to see Ridder probably play more. He's going to get in the games because, fantasy-wise, Mariota is only viable because of his rushing upside. Otherwise, he's useless, But, speaking of the rushing upside, Daniel Jones, the top guy quarterback on this list. I mean, I'm surprised he's only owning like 30% of leagues, or 34, whatever it is.
I'd be happy to own him. Yeah, because of the rushing stats, I think it's worthwhile.
Right, and then he faces Seattle this week, and then he has a bye, and then he faces the Texans and the Lions after that. And that's some 3 juicy matchups they have, as either a bye week fill-in or someone that's can help you in your 2 quarterback league. I'm not sure why he's still available. He's only rostered in 34% of leagues, but I have him in a couple of these, and I'm thankful I do because, like you said, that rushing aspect of it is huge. He's rushing more. He probably has more rushing yards than some running back right now with the way he's running the ball.
Right.
Show today is crowded, so we must move quick.
Yeah, it is crowded.
Where did that come from?
We gotta move on to the running backs. So that's we got a little reminder there to do that.
I see. It came out of nowhere, but the top one's going to be Gus Edwards.
I didn't expect that. I mean, they said that he was going to be starting, and there he is. I mean, J.K. Dobbins is sort of gone, but Gus Edwards. It's kind of funny that I have this. I don't know why I have this thing about Gus Edwards that I just think he's just a guy that's hung around. I don't know, but he kind of reminds me of a guy who played on the Jets. He seemed like to play on the Jets forever and ever. What was his name? Powell. Do you remember?
Powell?
Yeah. Do you remember a guy called Powell?
Bilal Powell.
Bilal Powell.
Edwards is a lot better than him.
Well, I know that, but what I'm saying is that the staying power of managing to stay on this team, like they like him, they want him on the team.
They love him. Yeah, they love him. Yeah. They were happy to see him succeed. I mean, he came back from the ACL, and they were feeding him the ball like all game. Like, holy crap! I was surprised he got that many touches, and he had 2 scores on top of it. And he's going to he's going to be the main running back taken. But a lot of my leagues, when that news came out that he was suiting up and he was active, a lot of leagues, he was picked up when the news broke right before the game started. So, and if he's still available, I pick him up. I mean, he's going to get the ball. Like I said, Dobbins is out, and Drake was not. It didn't look. He did well that one game, but also Justice Hill was also getting a little bit of looks too. So, but they love Edwards. I mean, he's gonna get the rock there more than running back. So if he's available, I grab him.
Well, in the leagues I'm in, the guys like anybody like Gus Edwards, like any hint of him return, like he was probably getting picked up. I mean, the guys I play with in the leagues, I mean, they're on guys like that, like a duck on a June bug, So, but it's true, and they you don't sleep in the early bird gets a worm, and the leagues I'm in. So there's another one analogy, not as fun as the other one. But what about these 2 running backs for Carolina? Donta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard both produced, and I don't think they're going to produce like this every week. Come on.
No, of course not. But you got to take a chance on them.
You have to
get the ball. Yeah, and Hubbard, Hubbard got hurt, so it kind of gave Foreman a little bit more looks. And Foreman had 2 big runs, over 100 yards rushing. But that timeshare is always going to kill their value. They're going to kill each other off of value. But, they got the Falcons coming up. So, they're both worth a look if they're available. Foreman looked good last year. When Henry was hurt.
I think he got a couple of hard 100-yard games in with the Titans.
Right. So, he's worth that pickup. Either one, I think, I don't think Hubbard was, he was good first couple years in college. Like his senior year, he didn't look that great, and I think it's kind of carried over. But if I'm picking up one of the guys, I really have Foreman and Hubbard. But either one is if we need to fill in or throw as a dart throw in the back of your roster, it's worth the pickup.
I don't know how Tyler Algier, these guys on this list are they're less than 50% owned. How is Tyler Algier not less than 50% owned?
Right, I agree.
I don't know why he's on there.
Yeah.
I'm no longer interested in Huntley. I had Huntley. He's getting dropped.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Plus, Patterson's going to return soon, so Algier's not going to be, the back there much longer. He's going to fill in for backup Patterson return, but he just scored his first touchdown until
had a good game.
Returns. Yeah, he did play well. But still going to be a timeshare. And Damon Williams is probably going to be coming back soon as well. So,
that's right.
What's going to happen with the 3-headed back for that one? I'm not taking a plunge on those guys right now.
Yeah. And we see Pacheco at RB5, and as we saw, it doesn't look like they're going to move off of it's full on committee, and he's kind of like we said, proverbial dart throw.
Right.
And it could be anybody. It could be Jerick McKinnon's day. It could be Clyde Edwards-Helaire day. It could be Pacheco's day.
Right, just like the receivers, same concept. One day it could be Juju, next day it could be MBS. Even freaking Justin Watson scored a touchdown. But it could be anybody any week.
And then we got Madison, who's always a regular on this list. And then we go back to Rashad White. Right now, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. I still can't believe that game. How do you lose to the Panthers? The Panthers are there's a fire sale going on there.
Right.
But there are, I guess, if they're gonna, do you think I don't see them moving off Fournette and shaking the box. But I'll tell you one thing. I don't know how Todd Bowles keeps his job if this keeps up.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, Brady will be gone too. He's not going to take this crap anymore, so he'll be.
No way.
He's going to retire, and then Bowles will be gone, and then what's going to happen with that franchise? So White's a good stash to have, I think. But just because Fournette's not playing well, I think White had more rushing yards than Fournette on Sunday, and Fournette's averaging 3 yards per carry. in a couple games this year. So White's a good stash to have. I mean, I don't know what's going on. We talked about the whole offense is in shambles right now. So until they pick it up, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But to have in the back of your mind that White could be someone that produces at the end of the year, he's worth the spec ad.
Now, I see Kyron Williams. Now, Kyron Williams is on IR. So obviously he's coming out of IR. Let me take a look, see how many.
Yeah, I think he just came off IR.
All right, so he's coming off IR. So what do you think?
Yeah,
Pick him up?
He had a lot of promise in camp and preseason. He looked good, and they're applauding his blocking ability, picking up blitzes and stuff. So I think he's going to get some run. And with Akers no longer there, they need to back up to Henderson. I wouldn't. That's another pickup. That's another spec ad. That's something. If you could room on your roster or stash, I'd take a shot at him.
Definitely.
You never know.
Oh, it's a good spec ad. I like it. James Cook, as normal, we're kind of expecting James Cook. James Cook is moving ahead. It's going to take a while before he moves ahead of Singletary. I mean, we know he's ahead of Moss. James Cook is a guy you can stash, yes. And you mentioned Damian Williams, of course. Kenneth, a lot of these guys, here's another guy who was off this week, Kenneth Gainwell. I can see why he's RB12. I guess he should be on this list, but,
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, but I mean, it's good if Sanders gets hurt because he gets hurt every year. But Gainwell has promise. I mean, he showed some life last year, and has the spots this year that he showed some life as well. So I mean, he's worth someone to stash in the roster. I'm surprised he's not in more leagues, but maybe that's the smaller leagues, I guess. But in bigger leagues, he should be on.
I can see Sony Michel making sense because mainly Sony Michel, right? Joshua Kelly got hurt, I believe.
Right, he's on IR. Yeah.
He's on IR, so Sony Michel is the next man up behind Austin Eckler. I really don't think there's much value in that, and of course we talked about Ty Johnson, who not a fan, but there's a little bit of a hole in that New York Jets backfield, and I think you're right, Dennis, that the Breece Hall injury does sort of make you think that they're going to get somebody from somewhere,
Yeah, remember they got Robinson.
So. Oh yeah, Robinson. We just talked about that, right? Oh, duh.
Yeah.
I've forgotten already. My memory's I'm worried about it now.
I see.
Too many players to go through, and then Marlon Mack to round it out. Now we can finally get on to the important things, which is Peng's picks. Let's hear what Davis has to say on Peng's picks.
Peng's Picks with Davis Peng.
Hey everybody, this is Davis Peng, writer for Fantasy Six Pack, and this is my Peng's Picks Week 8 takeaway. My first takeaway is to talk about some just bad offenses, right? And primarily the wide receivers or receiving options. Starting off with the Falcons. I have no idea what the Falcons are doing. A team that was down the entire game, but barely threw the ball the entire time. I mean, I think Marcus Mariota finishes with 13 pass attempts in a game they were losing from quarter one. I don't know, make it make sense to me, but this just tells you one thing and one thing only. Arthur Smith doesn't get fired or drop Kyle Pitts. It's simple as that. Or find somebody that's willing to buy Kyle Pitts up, because I have no idea what to do with it. Secondly, I want to talk about the Colts. They are a pretty anemic offense. They have one real asset that I trust, which would be Jonathan Taylor, and then followed by maybe Michael Pittman, but I can't. I'm really not a fan of it because Matt Ryan is 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Yes, if you haven't been keeping track, the guy is currently 9 for 9 in both stat categories, and the person paying for that is the Colts offense. Michael Pittman's currently wide receiver 21 on the season at half PPR, but in the last 4 weeks, he's actually been wide receiver. And to give you an example of who he's behind guys like George Pickens, a guy that was basically free, now outperforming him over the past. So do with what you will with that information. Next on the list is going to be the Houston Texans. Once again, this is just another anemic offense that has no consistent pass catchers, has no consistent way of getting things done that isn't through their running back. So be done with it. Stop carrying Brandon Cooks around. Trade him if you can. Use him as a sweetener. There's name value, guys. And don't get me wrong, I think Brandon Cooks is still talented. I just don't think that this off. I think Davis Mills has a lot to learn, so he gets consistent at passing the ball. Nico Collins is out, but how much of an uptick this is, who really knows? I would just stay away from it and trade well. Last but not least, I want to touch on what you should be doing right now. We're at the halfway mark. we're going into playoffs very soon. And if you're 5-2, 6-7-0, start making plans for the playoffs. It's trade deadlines is going to come up sooner than you think. Winning the regular season is great and all, but at the end of the day, if you're not hoisting the title, then what was the point of the season? So start making trades, start putting yourself in position to win, because before you know it, you're going to look back and go, what can I have done to help myself and put myself in a position to win the championship? This is the time frame where you should start. And if you are under the playoff situation, maybe you're a little bit further down, maybe you're 4-3, 3-4, even 2-5. Hey, season's not over. Start playing. Start taking it seriously. We'll get that. Start making. And that's it for my Week 8 Peng's Pick segment. See you guys next week.
All right. Of course, obviously, you recorded this before the announcement of Matt Ryan getting benched for Ehlinger.
Right.
Sam Ehlinger. So he probably doesn't think that's. I think he's probably wait and see if I were to read him correctly. If he would, I don't know. He sounds pretty down on the Texans and Atlanta offense. And we were talking about the Atlanta offense that Marcus Mariota isn't throwing the ball enough, and like you were saying, they're running the ball at what when you're behind, right. Like 17, like you were mentioning that earlier, and Davis has picked up on that, so there's consensus. I think there's pretty much consensus about everything here. I mean, the Texans as well. I'm not sure. I'm just going to take a look and see what Brandon Cooks. He's one of those guys, the forgotten man in fantasy, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of talent, and he's produced a lot of 1,000-yard seasons, and he's been with, seems like, 5 or 6 different teams. And probably one of the candidates that can be traded this week as well. Yeah. I mean, the Texans ain't going anywhere. So if nearest the receiver needing team could probably grab him for something pretty cheap right now and throw him as their second option in their offense.
Yeah, he hasn't even come close to 100-yard game.
No.
The most he's had is in week 1 was week 1. I mean, 82 receiving yards. That's the closest he's come, and the rest are like the closest to that is 57. He got 46 yards this week. 5 targets, 4 receptions. I mean, it's just so good. Against Vegas, you think that there'd be a little bit more offense going on in a game like that, but nope. Okay, so.
Show today is crowded, so
I know. Quit reminding me. All right, we got to move on to the wide receivers. So, Wan'Dale Robinson, yeah, okay. I don't know, how did he do? Let's see what Wan'Dale Robinson. Maybe he's moving on up. I don't know. It's kind of weird when you see the New York teams doing well. It's because you're not used to looking up their players very often.
Nice.
Yeah, and I should look up like guys like Wan'Dale Robinson. Here I have him at in rest of season WR84. That's going well. I don't know if that's going up. I mean, he finished at WR 38. I mean, that's not. I mean, I guess he should go up a little bit. I mean, he had 8 targets, 6 receptions, 50 yards, but that's hardly really lighting it up. But I'll be putting him up. Yeah, no doubt about it. He should go up a little, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they have their weapons over there. I mean, Darius Slayton, score a touchdown. There's only 2 receivers that really have the health there producing. Galladay, he's, long and forgotten. And there's Tony. He's probably going to get traded this week as well. So, I mean, there aren't that many options there. And Daniel Jones is playing well right now. So, I think Robinson's worth the pickup. He's good, wide receiver 3 flex option for you, PPR league. Slayton
was targeted 6 times. He only caught the ball 3 times, but he got that touchdown, which made a big difference. It catapulted him into WR18 this week. I like Darius Slayton. If you want to pick him up, he's involved. He's a guy that you can play. You can start him. If needs must. But I don't mind. But I think it might be time to start picking up the Giants. Maybe because maybe this. But it's kind of weird. This is still the Saquon Barkley show, and there just doesn't seem to be any. You kind of expect when a running back is this good, there's. Well, I guess it's not always hold true. It doesn't hold true with the Titans, but you'd think there'd be play action upside. You know what I mean with the running back?
Yeah, someone would benefit without the attention to running back. Like I said, Henry doesn't. I mean, he's even with AJ Brown, he had some good years over there, but Henry was a monster and he wasn't getting the ball much as you'd probably think that Brown should get it. I mean, he's doing well in Philly right now, which is great, but Barkley's playing great. I mean, him and Chubb and obviously Kenny Walker are freaking going nuts right now. So it's some good running backs out there still. Good to see running backs doing well.
Rondale Moore moving up, WR2. I don't know his stats. Rondale Moore, where are you? There he is. Rondale Moore. He finished WR 66. Yeah. No wonder. I was thinking, did they play? They did play. They played on Thursday. That's why.
Thursday. Right.
Yeah, that's why I kind of forgot about him. 1 reception, 2 targets. Is that hardly a guy that you really want to rush out and get? I mean, number 2.
I don't know why he's even listed here, to be honest, but
no,
it's more of a gadget guy. And now DeAndre Hopkins is back, and he's going to get a lot of love. Kyler Murray, especially with Marquise Brown out for extended period. They just had Robbie Anderson. So, I mean, I'm not sure why Rondale Moore is even considered.
Yeah.
By people looking for some reason.
Paris Campbell, maybe. I mean, it depends on Sam, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah, at least Campbell produced, though. I mean, he looked good out there. He
did.
Get a lot of targets and scored a touchdown. And probably his best output that he had in a very long time.
Yeah, but again, we're looking at Sam, not Matt anymore. So,
right. Who knows who's going to be the guy?
Yeah, a lot of names we've seen here a number of times before. Like, I don't know, Garrett Wilson, is he under 50%? I guess people have been dropping him.
Yeah, he's not really produced since he broke out those couple games. But, I mean, he may get a spike now with Breece Hall out. And Corey Davis is hurt as well.
Maybe. I think the problem is that they should have left Flacco. Zach Wilson's is a disaster for fantasy.
Oh, I 100% agree with you there. Yeah, we may see Flacco the way Wilson's playing around. Holy crap, does he looked horrendous. Sunday. I mean, maybe bring Flacco in is kind of like his relief pitcher in baseball. You bring him in to close out games and close out the season because Wilson's not looking good at all. Zach Wilson.
Detroit. They're starting to look terrible again. They're not. They were looking competitive early in the season. Now they don't look competitive at all.
No,
I mean,
I'm not sure what happened.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown got yanked off the field because he stumbled or something,
Right, I saw that. Yeah, and I would say he's fine. He's going to play this week. Which I mean, I had one of my leagues. I'm like, oh great, I can finally get to play him again. And then he saw it. He was yanked like in the early inning. That was like first quarter or something. What the hell happened to him now?
What is it with these medical observers? They can observe from afar, and they say, They could just look. Boy, I want to beat the point spread here, so I better get this Amon-Ra St. Brown off the field.
It never happens. Come on.
You don't know. Look, I don't know. Human nature.
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh no! Well, I guess I am being a little sarcastic too, but and cynical too. But I mean, it's arbitrary. I mean, like you can just pull a guy off the playing field because he stumbles on there's the ground is uneven and he sort of like stumbles a little bit now. Well, get him off the field. Get him off the field. I've got that point spread to cover.
That's right.
Anyways, oops! Did I say that? Did I say that out loud?
Right. Exactly.
Well, I meant. No. I mean, this is serious medical business here.
That's right.
But you don't know. I mean, the mafia could plant these guys in there.
You never know.
You never know. Anyways, let's move on. Jameson Williams, Detroit, not interested in any Detroit receivers. They've got enough.
Not this time. No.
They've got enough guys there. Well, I don't know. DJ Shark is on IR, so I don't know. Jameson Williams is enough. I mean, the guys are Reynolds and Amon-Ra. Those are the only guys. Actually, Amon-Ra is actually Josh Reynolds is like a better guy, but that's a story for another day. Elijah Moore. Now, Elijah Moore is an interesting case. He's another doghouse guy.
Yeah.
So what do we do? He's on this list at WR7 on the waiver list. You don't want to take a chance of a guy who's in the doghouse?
Yeah, no way. No, I don't. I'm not sure why he's that. I mean, he flashed a lot. Last year he looked great, and he had maybe a game or two looked good this year. But he probably sank when he was playing poorly. Then he got put in the doghouse. So now everyone wants to take the shot at him again. I mean, that doesn't make sense. I stay away from him, and especially look who's quarterback. Oh, Zach Wilson quarterback.
Exactly, it's the same.
You're gonna take a chance with him? No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not wasting my priority on it.
Exactly. I mean, we were just talking about Garrett Wilson and it's even worse. So Elijah Moore, stay away completely. Come on. Isaiah McKenzie, yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. This Khalil Shakir guy is kind of lighting a fire here, but who knows?
Yeah, it's another offense that's it's good to get a piece of that offense. So just to have if he's available, I would take a shot at it just because you want a piece of that fantasy pie. Because you never know if they could do well, and if they have guys focus on Diggs or Davis, then McKenzie gets open, and he's playing well. I mean, now that he's playing again, he's doing well, and he's a slot guy, so he should get some run. He's worth the pickup, I think.
I think was it you or Davis that were talking about Robbie Anderson, about how we feel about him being in the offense? I mean, what with minus Marquise Brown? I don't know. I mean, it's his first. This will be his first practice week with the team. He's one of the lucky ones, like Christian McCaffrey, who escaped the Panthers.
Very true. Yeah, I mean he's just a boomer bust guy. He's always been like that, and maybe with Murray in his arm, he can, once it's more accustomed to the offense, he can get some bombs together. But I mean, he's no more than a bye week fill-in at best. I mean, that's probably stretching as well.
Who do you like him more than Green, or him or Green? Who would you rather have?
I hate to say it, but I would probably say Anderson just because he has more upside with those bombs with Kyler Murray there.
Yeah,
I hate to say either one.
I agree,
but
I just thought you'd have to choose. If you have to choose between the two, I mean, who would you rather own?
Right.
But no, I agree. You got to take Anderson over Green. Green's washed. Now this guy you mentioned too. I think it's just, I like, you mentioned him earlier, WR10, Marquise Goodwin of Seattle. He's worth a grab, especially with if DK Metcalf misses time. I mean, this is a nice sneaky pickup.
Right, I agree. Yeah, he's someone that would, especially if like you said, Metcalf will miss some time. I mean, that offense, the way Chino's playing right now, he's worth a spec at, and maybe play him as your third wide out or a flex.
Yeah.
He's worth a shot. He's a better option than the other guys they have on here. I mean, Dotson, who, Washington's offense, I mean, who knows? Heineke's not that great of a quarterback. And, he has eyes for, I think, more of McLaurin than anybody else. So, the rest of these guys, I wouldn't. I'm surprised McCole Hardman's this far down the list. I thought he'd be higher up because of the game he had.
I think that's one of the things. I think he's a case of points chasing, I think.
Yeah, true.
This week.
I mean, who would you rather have?
I mean, not this week, but the week after, week following, or.
Yeah. And would you already have McCall Hardman, or would you have, let's say, Elijah Moore? Who would you want more?
I'd rather have Hardman.
Yeah. So, I mean, Moore is at 7 on this list, and Hardman's at
15. I don't understand that. I mean, thumbs down on Fantasy Pros for having Elijah Moore at WR7. That's irresponsible. Yeah. That is totally irresponsible.
Right. Or like Robbie Anderson. Would you have Robinson or Hardman?
Robbie Anderson, there's value there. I mean, he's a guy, right? He's on a good offense. I mean, there's a sleeper chances with him. I mean, but a guy like Moore, come on.
If I was doing this list, I would have Hardman closer to, I think I would do Robinson 1, Campbell 2, probably Hardman 3, if it was me.
Yeah, I think Hardman's got the thing that, they're off this week, right? So if you're taking Hardman, you're taking him as you got to stash him through the bye week, right?
Yeah.
So
that's actually a good time to get him because people will forget about him, I mean, if you're desperate for a win, I guess you can't take him, obviously, but if you want to stash him on your roster for the rest of the season, someone I would look to pick up because no one's going to look for him. But I would take a shot at him.
I'd rather take a shot at Marquise Goodwin. I think you're onto something there, Dan. Definitely.
Yeah, either one. Yeah,
move him up. Definitely move up Marquise Goodwin. Dotson's been hurt lately. Did he play?
No.
He didn't play. No, I didn't think he did. Yeah. So he was out, but he's on the list here. Tyquan Thornton is playing tonight. Now we're kind of have our eyes on him because I do believe that Nelson Aguilar is on IR. Is he?
Yeah, I believe so.
Anyways, he's out. So we're kind of going to be watching Tyquan Thornton, and that game is currently playing. Treylon Burks coming out of IR, I guess. Right? I think maybe.
Yeah, eventually. Not yet, though.
But the rest of these guys, Josh Reynolds is an okay pickup, I think. If you still think.
I guess.
And then there's DeAndre Carter, who wasn't on the list, but I think should be.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially
even though they are off
Williams.
this week too, but he's a stash guy. You got to stash through the bye.
Right.
Okay, so.
Show today is crowded, so we must move quick.
I know. We're moving. We're moving to tight ends. Yeah, we're running out of time in the show, so we got to talk about the tight ends quickly. A lot of the similar names though that we've seen over the weeks, but this is the first time I think I've seen Irv Smith at number 1 for Minnesota. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I think he was dropped because he was on a bye, so he's available now. I would actually pick up on that kind of list Evan Ingram before I would pick up Irv Smith. I'm surprised I wouldn't say that, but Ingram's been producing him, and he's been catching a lot of passes. He has like 15 catches over the last 3 games.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to deny that production. Irv Smith is the low guy in the totem pole on that offense. I mean, he may get I think he has like 2 touchdowns on the year, but it's like most tight ends, it's hard to guess when they're going to, with Ingram getting that production.
Well, it's the targets, isn't it? The last 3 games, 10 against Houston, 6 targets with Indianapolis, 7 targets against the Giants, 69 yards, 40 yards, 67. Okay, he hasn't scored a touchdown, but you're going to think sooner or later it's going to come. Unfortunately, he plays Denver next week, and Denver sort of, I don't know, Denver pours tar on everything.
Right. Yeah, the defense is very good.
And, so games tend to be quite sluggy when your team's playing Denver. You really can't expect much. I don't know. They seem to rule the game script somehow. But some other players on here, with actually Denver player, Greg Dulcich, I think he's a pretty good guy, actually, to get, don't you think?
Yeah, he's been playing well. I mean, the rookie, I mean, you got to worry about the offense in general, but I mean, he's been producing. He got 6 catches for 51 yards. Second game. There's only a second game in his career, so I mean, he's someone that's not a bad pickup if you want to take a dart throw on him. I mean, he's better than some of the other guys on this list. I mean, I wouldn't Hunter Henry. I stay away from. I don't know why he's even on this list, but Mike Gesicki. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Gesicki gets traded this week.
You think?
I mean, he's really not a. Yeah, because he's not really a fit in that offense. I mean, he's not a good blocker. And I know that's.
Tua was targeting him, I think.
Gesicki was dropping it too. He dropped a couple of passes.
Yeah, he was dropping passes. I guess.
Yeah. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone this week. But I mean, Gesicki, Juwan Johnson, New Orleans. I mean, he scored twice on Thursday. I mean, that's flat garbage time. With Dalton there. Who knows what's going to happen at quarterback when and if he's coming back. But Dalton's playing, okay. But that defense, New Orleans Saints defense has gone downhill pretty quick. I mean, they've been giving up a lot of points lately. So Harrison Bryant we talked about with Njoku being hurt, so he's not a bad. I'd rather Bryant than I would Henry or Gesicki. So I would move up Bryant a little bit on this list. And Foster Moreau from the Raiders, I mean, Darren Waller, another disappointing season with him.
Yeah.
Moreau, he's a body. I mean, he's decent. He's not going to give you explosive game, but he gives you some points. I
still think you can find a better replacement for Kelsey this week than Moreau.
I would hope so. But you never know. I mean,
or even Gerald Everett. I mean, you got to find a replacement for both those guys. Gerald Everett's having a not bad year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was saying Ingram, Dulcich, maybe a Juwan Johnson and Bryant. That's the 4 I would target. I'd probably stay away. Irv Smith would be like my, backup plan to those guys if they're somehow get taken. But not all of those guys get selected, especially only 2 teams on bye. You're not going to get all picked up. So take a shot at them.
So, we got through all the waivers and all that news. And also, I want to add one more a tidbit of news. And we didn't cover another guy on the Giants who I thought had a bit of upside until he got poked in the eye, Daniel Bellinger. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching the game when it happened, and I read something that he had to get surgery done. His eye socket got damaged or something. So that's huge. I mean, I hope he's okay. I mean, that you could tell he was in a lot of pain and couldn't really tell at first what was going on, but then you should replay it and like, holy crap! And then he was pretty serious stuff. So I hope he's okay. He's probably going to get surgery done this week. He's supposed to get looked at, and we'll see when he comes back. I mean, he probably will be gone for an extended period as well. So
just tells you why those linemen wear those face mask visors.
Right, exactly.
Those, sometimes they have them dark so you can't see where their eyes where they're looking at. Maybe that might be something Daniel Bellinger, if he comes back. I don't know. I mean, eye injuries there. That's getting poked in the eye, man. I mean, that kind of threatens your life, right? A bit.
Right.
Quality of life. Quality of life when it comes to eyes. That's eye injuries is quality of life stuff. So I hope for the best for that.
Agreed.
Like and all the other players who get injured, quality of life stuff. I mean, we've seen some pretty severe ones. When I know they're trying to do that. I mean, we kind of joke about the thing about the trying to keep the players safe, like I'm on Ross St. Brown and that. But so we managed to get through all the. And we didn't have any technical difficulties this time, Dennis. It went smooth. Perfectly good podcast, and we hope you all have a good week 8. We're moving closer and closer into playoff times now. Playoffs start at week 14 now, don't they?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So depending on your league, sometimes it's top 4, but so we're getting into the interesting part of the season. We're getting closer into November. I still think we got one more week that's in October. That's the Halloween week. So, and then we start looking at Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So, thank you for joining us on the Fantasy Edge. I'm Richard Phil of FantasySixPack.net and Dennis also FantasySixPack.net. Good luck everyone next week, and join us again.